Okay, so now we have all of the images that we imported into After Effects organized nicely into a folder. The first thing we want to do is bring in a new image into our composition once a composition has been created. So I've created a 1080p composition, which is right here. So we double click it, it brings us into this blank composition. I will bring in an image that I like, or a piece of footage. Now we have a white background, but I would like this to be scaled to full screen. So I will hit S on the keyboard. I will scale this a little past the full screen mark. We can go to Layer, New, Camera. We will keep the preset to 35. We will click OK. Everything else is fine for now. Now, until this layer turns into a 3D layer, the camera will not be able to control it. So on this layer, let's turn it into a 3D layer. And now the camera will be able to control the layer. We can go down into the drop menu here, inside Transform, and on the position layer, we can see that the right side starts moving to the back, or if we go the other way, the left side starts moving to the back. Let's undo that, Command Z, or we can go to Orientation and click this, for example, and move it to the left or move it to the right. Now it's important to understand that this is the actual camera, a virtual camera, moving around and not the image. For example, if we go to the Z rotation and click and drag, the image appears to start rotating. It's important to understand that the image is actually not rotating, it's the camera that's rotating. Much like if you held a camera handheld and started rotating the camera, the image produced would be spinning. Okay, let's Command Z and undo that back to the original. And from here we can create a simple animation. So on the position, we will click on the stopwatch, which creates a keyframe. On the left side here, we will click and drag until the edge of the screen, which we can see right here. If we go a little further, the white is introduced, so we want to hide the white. And if we click and drag and place our timeline cursor at the end of the composition, and then click and drag the other direction until the white is shown, and then go back a bit, then over time the image will appear to be turning in 3D space. Okay, so the next thing we can do is add a fake camera movement to the image. So we have an image file brought into a composition. We can go down into the transform section and under the position property, we can, on a Mac, option click, or on a PC, alt click the stopwatch here, which opens up the section where you can type or copy and paste an expression. So for now we can delete what is there. We can type in WIGGLE bracket 1, 20 close bracket. Now this is a very standard expression, and basically what it does is it moves the image around randomly a certain amount of pixels over a certain amount of time. And it looks like this. We can exaggerate it by changing these numbers here. So we can go, for example, 5 for the second number and 20 for the first number. And it's almost like an earthquake. So this is cool for adding an earthquake type effect to footage you have or photos. For our purposes, we're looking for a simple camera shake, as if we were holding the camera handheld. So 1 and 20 works for us. We can even go a step further in adding a bit of rotation, as if the camera is swaying a bit from left to right as your shoulders move when you're standing and holding the camera. To do that, under the rotation property, we option click the stopwatch. We remove the text by clicking backspace. We type in WIGGLE bracket 1, comma 2, close bracket. Now this will add a slight bit of rotation randomly to the clip over time. So that mixed in with the position expression will produce a nice handheld feel to a single shot that otherwise had no movement. If you feel that that is too much, then you can always reduce it by going to 0.5 for the first value and 1 for the second one, for example. Or if you prefer even a little less, you could do 0.5 for the second one and go back to the original position and change the second to 10. Let's press 0 and check that out. So that's a little more subtle. And that is how you can add an expression to the position and rotation properties to give a random camera shake feel to your footage or photos. Just remember, you need to scale it a little larger as the camera moves around. Otherwise, you might reveal the edges beyond your picture or footage.